All right, day 8. I need to shave. As soon as I turned my camera on, I was like, oh god. Whatever. No one watches this anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm pretty pumped up. I was gonna wait to record later in the day, but my mind was just racing with ideas and thoughts, and I just don't want to lose them. So I'm just gonna let them out as fast as I can, so before I don't lose them. um, I I I I was struggling yesterday with, the posting on Facebook for my company and, deciding what kind of person I want to be, I think in some respects with all that. And I once again, I went to go visit my little brother and watch his basketball game. And I had a, hour long car ride both ways. And it was great because it lets me do nothing else, right? I think commutes and hour long car rides are bad when you're doing them every day, but when they're every once in a while, I think it's a really good thing because it like lets you reset and kind of like a shower. It kind of like puts you in one mindset at a time. You can't really do much else. And so I've been really using that time to listen to audiobooks, and I kept pushing on with Atomic Habits. And of course, I'm sure in a month I'm gonna have a next new book that's blowing my mind, but I'm just feeling like this Atomic Habits book is just blowing my mind. I it's teaching me. I am like I said before, I am more than ever in my life taking a book that other people deem as a really good book, being a bestseller and selling millions of copies and something, and I'm believing it for the first time. I'm not like reading it going, okay, yeah, I should do that a little bit. Maybe I'll do 20% of that. Maybe I'll do 30% of that. Maybe I'll do, and I think for the first time in my life, I'm like, Brian, why don't we just do 100% of that book for a year? Why don't we actually try to do something specific and measurable and like act like and just do it exactly how they say. Like, why don't we just trust that this person actually knows something more than you, rather than think you know everything and know everything better than them? So that's what I'm doing, and I'm sure I'll say something else in a week or a month, but last night and today I am just so pumped up. I firmly believe that good habits unlock your dreams, all of them, any of your dreams, anything you could want to do ever. I think that's the secret of life. I've spent so much of my life hearing that compound interest will is the seventh wonder of the world, or whatever, is the thing that makes us all, great or not great, or rich or not rich. And I I knew better. I thought I knew better than that. I said I don't want to be old and rich. I want to be young and rich. So that doesn't apply to me. I don't need that advice right now. I don't need that advice ever because I'll be young and rich. And I'm old now, right? It didn't happen. I didn't. I tried a lot of things, and I never tried enough. I just tried a little. Everyone tries a little at everything they want to do, and but if I built good habits, I'd probably be better now. I mean, I'm not shaming my previous self. You grow, you learn, you move on. I don't think it's helpful to look back and I don't. I mean, the side note, the thing I've learned about regrets is you can regret all you want, but when you have a little baby staring you in the eyes and growing up and becoming their own person and everything, and there's like a 1 in 3 million chance that they are even who they are with just sperms and eggs and everything, just the odds of everything existing the way it existed, in the whole process of the baby starting to exist, the embryo, and not to mention me existing. I was talking to my dad about my grandpa like fought in the war and could have easily died a million times, and I wouldn't be here. Like not, that times the 3 trillion per 1 in 3 trillion of me being me. Um, it, I think once you have a little kid looking you in the face, you you can regret all you want about previous stuff, but Who cares, right? Any regret you have would, if you went back and fixed it, if you had the opportunity, that baby wouldn't be the way the baby is. That little kid wouldn't be themselves, and they would be an alien. They'd be a different kid, and it wouldn't be your kid, you know? And so that's kind of my stance on regrets. I really stopped regretting things. I stopped regretting things over time because time passes and you kind of care less. If you're in a decent place in life, you kind of don't worry about it. But once I had a little baby girl staring me back in the eyes, it's like, okay, who am I regretting about what, you know? A past friend, a past relationship, whatever. It doesn't, everything I said or did, I wasn't, I'm sure many times I was a really awful person, and I regret hurting people. If I can go back and unhurt them, I would, but I also need my kid to be my kid, And so at some level you kind of say to yourself, like, what is this? I can't have both, and I know I won't change one of them, so I might as well let go of the other one, which is the regret. So anyways, I always thought I was smarter and better than the compound interest for whatever reason. Compound interest with time, with effort, with skills, money, happiness, habits. And now that I'm 32 and my brain's fully developed, I really don't think I could comprehend long-term gratification until I was like 25 or 27. Like not practice it. I mean, just even comprehend what it would feel like. I couldn't even empathize with what long-term gratification what it even was or meant or did for me. For whatever reason, I don't want to blame anybody. For whatever reason, I've just never in my life, my brain, it didn't make sense to me for whatever reason. And it's made more and more sense as I start thinking about my kids being ages, in the future, and what age will I be at that age, and what do I want to be like at that age? Do I want to be a crippled, like hardly walking, really terrible, like 45-year-old person? Do I want to be overweight? Who do I want to be at that age? I started saying something that I thought was funny and true about 3 weeks ago, but now I'm kind of changing my mind. So I guess my wife will make fun of me. I made a joke 3 weeks ago that said, life's too short to have abs. And it just meant, like, why not have a beer, like, here and there? Why not, like, do this here and there? And I agree with that, like, mentality of, like, you need to live life at some level to have fun and to not be super duper strict about every little thing. I mean, I'm not overweight. I'm not obese. I'm not obese. I don't think I have really large health challenges to, like, worry about right now. But I also don't want 45-year-old me to have those health challenges either, and so on. But this habits book, I feel like it's like blowing my mind, I'm going to start some new habits because of it, and I'm going to start them every day. I'm going to keep adding on habits to make me into the person I want to be in every single facet of my life, and see how far I can get. I don't really see a downside. I don't see a negative. I mean, at some point, if I keep compounding them, they will become overwhelming. But also, I need to trust myself that I'll figure it out then, and that's not my problem right now. My problem is starting the habit. That's what today's Brian's problem is. 32-year-old Brian on June 16th needs to start the habit. And all that means is do the very, very, very minimum thing that you can do every day. That's all it is. And I shrug at that. I laugh at that. I've done that for years of my life. I said, what's the point of that? And it's because I couldn't comprehend the compounding of it. I couldn't comprehend that. But when I look back on my life, the things that I'm really good at and the things I really enjoy are the compounding things, and I usually compounded on accident because I just enjoyed doing that thing or whatever, or I was forced to at work. I'm really good at Excel now. Not because I woke up loving Excel one day. It's because I just was asked to do it every day, and I've sucked at it for a few months, and then I was better at it after a few years, and now I'm amazing at it. And and that's all it takes is just repetition. Even this podcast thing that I'm doing, I I know I'll get better. I'm trusting the habits book that I will get better at it rather than trusting I won't. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to make this interesting or fun or entertaining to people or something. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'll figure that's along the way, you know? And I'm going to trust the compounding thing. So I'm going to start doing, this is going to sound stupid, right? This is going to sound really dumb. I'm going to do one push-up and one pull-up every day for a week. And then in the second week, I'm going to do two push-ups and two pull-ups. And by the end of the year, I will be able to do, by the end of next year, I guess by a year from now, I will be doing 52 push-ups and pull-ups every single day. And we'll see what happens at that point. At that point, maybe I'll reevaluate and do some sort of other exercise or something. But I can have abs. See what I mean? It's unlocking my dreams. In 3 or 4 minutes a day, starting out, it's going to take me 10 seconds a day for several weeks. I'm going to just do something every single day. And then eventually I'm going to have abs, and I'm going to be, I've always been this like scrawny kid that had a really hard time putting on muscle, and my dad always like wanted me to like hit the weights more and everything. And I never comprehended it as a habit problem, not a me problem. It's not a time problem. It's not an effort problem, because I put a lot of time in. I put a lot of effort in once, a few times, for a few weeks, for a few months. But I never did something every day. And I never compounded what I learned or used or did or tried. I never let myself trust the process of compounding. And like being 32 years old and being slightly overweight, I guess, I'm like 177. I'm more the higher than I've ever been. I haven't worked out a bunch in probably like a year, because I play hockey, but I don't like run or anything anymore, mostly because my kids don't let me leave the house. They don't let me do anything. We can't even go on a walk. They scream and cry and take over and want to go home or want to go somewhere else or want to stare at rocks or whatever. We can't go on a 10-minute walk, and it's like paining me and my wife to like, we can't leave. It's harder to leave the house than it is to stay right now. And so what kind of habit does that create? We just stay in all day. Anyway, but what can I do? I need to create a 2-minute habit and do it every day and compound it. And when it starts getting easy, make it a little harder, but start with so easy that it's stupid. The book says literally, when you want to start working out and want to start getting in shape, for the first like 2 or 3 weeks, don't even go to the gym. Just put your gym clothes on. Don't even do the thing you want to do. Just do the minimum, like just put your gym shoes on. That's all you have to do. Don't even leave the house. And then week 2 or week 3 or week 5, whenever you start to say like, okay, I guess I should do like a little bit more because I've already done it this much. That's when you go to step 2, which is, okay, I'm actually going to go to the gym. I'm actually going to like go there for 1 minute. And then you literally set an alarm on your phone. And as soon as you leave, or as soon as it goes off, you just leave. That's it. And it feels so dumb. But the problem is what I'm saying is like, you're life hacking your brain. Your brain only remembers 3 weeks ago. Okay? And so when your brain only remembers 3 weeks ago, it's a super bad thing for you as a person to grow. It's really hard to grow because you only remember yourself 3 weeks ago. You don't remember anything else, and therefore everything that is happening today feels brand new, different, overwhelming, crazy. Like today, this is why when people come out with new stuff, new music, new TV shows, new whatever, we're all obsessed with it. We're obsessed with the news. We're obsessed with everything. But no one remembers what happened in the news 3 weeks ago, unless it was ridiculous. The average news cycle that you watch, that you spend your time on, you don't remember anything from it 3 weeks from now. Think about that. Think about your time. Think about everything. And so the habits is the exact opposite of that. It's the smartest way to say, I'm not going to remember this in 3 weeks. Why don't I only make a change every 3 weeks? Why don't I only do the smallest amount of change at the smallest amount of intervals, like every couple weeks, every week? I don't know. And so I'm just going to do one extra push up or pull up every week. And in week 10 or 12 or 20 or whatever, it's going to be hard. But at this point, I'm going to have 20 weeks under my belt. And this is the secret, right? Our brains are not set up for long-term gratification. Okay? That's what the compounding thing doesn't work. It doesn't work because we need to picture ourselves in the future and want to help that person more than ourselves today. And we literally, our brains literally, I mean, we're evolved to not do that, because people that do that don't have enough nutrients to survive, because they're not fighting for today's calories or whatever. They're not conserving today's energy. Obviously, our brains are set up for a different world than we exist in right now. So in the book they talk about that our brains are literally like from 200,000 years ago. And so I'd say most, or if not every problem in life is probably because of that. I like to say this, we're all monkeys pretending not to be monkeys. Like that's our whole life is we're feeling and doing things, and it's literally all just because we're programmed to do it. And we don't know why. And it's for the wilderness. It's for survival. And we don't need to survive anymore. We need to just, what do we all want to do? We all want to be happy. We don't want to survive. We want to be happy now. So I'm using a brain that is wired to survive, and I'm telling it not to do that. And then I'm upset when it's doing what it was programmed to do. And that's why it's easy to get fat, because the whole point is to survive, not to be skinny. Being skinny is not surviving. It's the opposite. Anyways, so how do you hack this? You hack this by creating a streak. This is the secret. This is it. It's Jerry Seinfeld. He is great because he puts all the work in and does everything amazing and whatever. But I'd be willing to bet a lot of it, maybe not everything, but a large chunk of it, maybe a majority, I don't know. A large chunk of it comes from his streak. He must write jokes every day in order to keep his streak alive. He gets pleasure. He is happy when he has a good day. And that good day is keeping the streak alive. He does not allow himself to break the streak anymore of not writing jokes that day. He must write a certain number of jokes or spend a certain amount of time writing them or whatever. And I've heard this in other contexts too, in like writing fiction or writing nonfiction or doing anything. I'm going to create streaks of habits of everything I do. Right now I'm on day 8 of this streak, and I feel proud of it. I feel very proud of it. And the longer I go, I need to remember that the only thing that's important is the streak. If I keep the streak alive, I am happy. If I don't keep the streak alive, I am bad and sad and a failure. And it doesn't matter how good the jokes are, or how good the podcasts are, or how good the push-ups are. I kept the streak alive today. That's all it is. I will be happy. I will get the most out of life and do the most things if I create streaks and keep them going every day of my life forever. I will be jacked. I will be ripped. I will be very powerful. I will have so many talents and skills. I will unlock my dreams if I can get pleasure out of streaks, habit streaks. And that's why my mind is racing, because I feel like it's unlocking a whole nother universe, a whole nother video game of life. Like that's if that's all it takes to win the video game, to win the day, if that's all I need to do to feel good about my day, I feel like it just like takes all this pressure off me of like, what do I do? How do I do it? Who am I? What do I be? Like, I've been talking about how like parenting kind of helps you kind of just kind of turn the volume down on those thoughts too. But I mean, this feels like a whole nother like level of that, where it's like I don't have to do anything else today to be good, to have a good day. I just need to keep my streaks alive. I mean, I'm sure there's like more things, but like, so I was struggling with posting on Facebook for Copilot University. And the book says too, like if you're struggling with a thing that's hard to do because it's just not who you are, or it's just it's one of your blind spots, or it's hard for you to like comprehend, make it physical. And I got to do that. I'm going to physically like put things or take things out of a jar or something. Something needs to be like, I'm literally moving it from one thing to the other side for it to feel like I did it. Because then I will derive pleasure from the moving of the thing. And the moving of the thing pleasure will be more pleasurable than the posting uncomfortable stuff, or feeling desperate while I'm posting on Facebook about my companies and stuff. Like I need to find ways to build habits and streaks in which I'm deriving pleasure from the thing I get to do before or after it, more so than the actual act of the thing I don't want to do. So if there's something you don't want to do, find something pleasurable to do before or after it. And I would say after it. It makes the most sense to me. And don't make it like food. Don't make it like I get a cookie if I do this. Because it shouldn't be something you consume. It should be something you get pleasure from it being done the right way, or it being accomplished that day. And like, so some people like check off things in their notebook or whatever. I don't know. I think for me, I can check off doing the push-ups in a notebook. I don't need that on the wall. I don't think that's something I need. That's not, it depends on the level of how hard it is for you, in my opinion. I feel like if it's something you can do in a few minutes and it's not something that's overwhelming and so far out of your character, that's fine. I think it's easy to just kind of write it down somewhere or keep it in your head. I posting these podcasts is enough because like they're out in the universe. I can't unpost them. I mean, I can take them down, I guess, but I can't fake it. And if they're not posted, if they don't exist, I broke the streak, right? And I've been really trying to be religious that I will not record these on a different day and then pretend it was that day. If I'm ever wearing the same shirt or something, I'm not secretly like recording all these in a 5-hour span and then posting them every day. No, it's like an actual everyday thing. And maybe I'll start date stamping them or something, but it doesn't matter because it's about me being accountable to myself. I don't really care if you believe me or not. But I think it goes, I mean, it's all compounding. It's all habits. I mean, I was reading this article about Zuckerberg probably 10 years ago. And it came out that he reads a book every 2 weeks or every week or something like that. And that really upset me because I was like, okay, he has all these things to do and he still finds time to read more books than me. I'm a failure. What am I doing that's so different? Or B, his job is that easy. His life is that easy. He can just sit around reading books all day. And like, does he not care about his job? Does he not care about his life? Does he not? How are things not overwhelming for him? And or does he not have to put the effort in? Like, does he really? Is he fake? Is he an imposter? That he doesn't actually have to put in time like we all do. And of course, the answer is it's door number 3. It's he finds time in his daily habits and routines to read portions of books in order to complete his goals. So I'm sure he breaks streaks and hates himself for it and whatever. But he takes a book and says, okay, it's 400 pages. I have 14 days to do it. I will read 30 pages a day every day or I'm a failure. And you keep that streak alive for as long as you can, and that's it. That you're if your happiness is dependent upon the streak that you create, you're going to get stuff done. You're going to grow as a person. You're going to compound all of your skills, growth over time. And it takes all of the burden off you of what should I do every day? How much of it should I do? It just takes it back down to like basic algebra, like basic math. Like if I do this, then I get that. And I feel like I've like finally learned a secret of the universe, of great people, of everything, of things, you know? I mean, I know people that do great things do them a lot. I know they've probably done them a long time, but I've never broken it down into just do it for a few minutes every day. And then when that's too boring, do it for a few more minutes every day. And then one day you'll have abs. One day, like I'm thinking about starting to play guitar again. I mean, I haven't played guitar in like probably 8 years. I've always wanted to be good at guitar. I always picture myself on some sort of like weird stage or something where I'm like playing in front of my friends, I guess. But it's not about like, I don't know. I just want to like know how to do stuff. I want to like feel comfortable playing a song and feeling like I know how to do it, you know, more than anything. Um, and maybe I'll start doing that. I don't know. I gotta think about that if I can fit that into my daily routine, you know, in a long term way. But I'm gonna start posting on Facebook about Copilot University 10 times a day, or whatever, 10 different groups a day. And I'm gonna start there, and we'll see where that gets me. And if that doesn't help me achieve my goals with my company, I'm gonna start posting 12 times a day, and go from there. And I'm sure after months of that, I will achieve my goals. I there isn't a doubt in my mind that having that much exposure will get me closer to my goals, and then that will inspire me to do more or differently, or trust myself that I'll figure it out from there of what to do next. You know, I was thinking about this. Um, I feel like the people that win the lottery, and everyone wants to win the lottery because they want to skip this whole compounding part, right? They want to just have all the money today, and in some ways they want to pretend they earned it. I don't want to say they didn't earn it, but I don't want to say they did earn it either. I think that there's like a pretending to earn it kind of like mentality. It's like they want to show everybody that they did it better and different, and got lucky or not. Like they I guess they want to get lucky because they want to have status and feel like they're special. I feel like it's like a special thing. Like I feel like, I mean, like I said, we're all running off 200,000-year-old brains, and I feel like the 200,000-year-old brain wants to feel special. And back when we all lived in tribes of 100 people, it was really easy to be special because you were good at one thing, and then the whole tribe needed you for that one thing. But now you're competing against the whole world, and there's 7 billion people, and no one's better than anyone at anything for more than a minute. You know, even the people that are the best in the world at anything get overtaken by somebody in like a year or two. Like it's pretty impossible to be so good at something that you are world changing. And, you know, I'm sure there's people out there that like LeBron and people, but you know, I'm just saying the average person isn't better than anyone else in their city at anything, let alone their country, let alone the world. Like I have never comprehended, and I probably still need a lot of learning to comprehend, like how hard it is to be on the TV. Not even for a sport, a specific sport, not even for like, because you can say how hard it is to be good at this sport or that sport or make it to the professionals. And I know people give you the math on it, and it's, you know, 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 20,000 or whatever. But to even be on the TV, like, do you know anybody that's ever been on TV for anything? Like, does anyone know anybody that's ever been on TV for anything real that they've done at sports, not sports? You know, life goals, achievements, professional stuff. I could probably name like one or two people that I've ever heard of being on TV for anything. And I think that's significant because I think it reminds me how hard it is and how crazy I believe that people who are on the TV are a little crazy or a lot crazy because they worked so hard and thought of nothing else for so long to get on the TV. And it's you don't think of that. You just point to them and say, "I want to be like that," and the ironic thing is how to be like that is to be like them a little bit every day, forever, and then you'll be like them. You'll be them. Do the habit, create the habit, do it for 2 minutes. After 2 weeks, do it for 3 minutes, and after a year or two, you will be on the TV. Like I feel like everyone in math class, we do this stupid thing where they go, okay, if I gave you a penny every day and I doubled it, would you rather have that or like $10 million? And everyone goes $10 million, and then at the end of the month, you would have $30 million or something. If you actually just took the penny times two every time, or multiply by itself every time. And that math always breaks everyone's brains, and it makes sense to me. Obviously, like things that multiply are crazy. They get out of hand quickly. You go from, making very small amount of money and it's not worth it. And I truly believe if you want to get anywhere in life, you need to work for free for a while because that's the only way you get skills that you can compound. And then you have the skills to really make a significant difference and make real money. But for whatever reason, I've never let myself let that happen with time. I've never let the compounding of the stupid penny, like I wanted to be good at the thing next week. I wanted to be good at the thing. I can't even say next month because I don't think I've ever tried that long. I think I've tried until like 2 weeks from now. I think I've made like 14 days. I think I keep coming up with new numbers, but I think I usually quit stuff. Like I usually really try. Like I really tried to play guitar for probably 17 out of 30 days in a row. I think there was a 30-day period in which I like really tried for like an hour for like 17 days. I don't think I've ever gone 20 days or a month or anything at anything. And look where I am. I have a master's degree. I have things. I have a good job. I have a family. We live in a great house. Like I have amazing privileges and amazing resources. And I don't even do this correctly. I only do this like 10% of what I should be doing it like. I I feel limitless right now. I feel like anything I want to do, I can be great at it in like a couple years, And in my 20s, I didn't want to be great at something years from now. But in my 30s, the idea that I would be great at guitar, have abs, have a great company or multiple companies that are really doing really well, achieving my goals and removing my blind spots and worries and anxiety along the way. I want to be that 40-year-old. I want to have an 11-year-old and be this amazing mentor for them because I'm breaking down my barriers and achieving my goals in front of them and showing them, teaching them good habits and long-term gratification, which is one of the only skills they need in life. I'm getting chills thinking about me being that person for them, for me, for everybody. I just got to trust it. I just got to do the stupid thing every day. That's the hard part. It's like we're just not wired to do it, but I have to create streaks where I get pleasure from the streak. I'm getting pleasure from finishing this every day. It's been great. I haven't told anybody about this. My wife knows I'm doing it, but I'm a little scared to tell anybody because it's embarrassing. I might tell my dad because he loves me and he wants to learn more about me and my life, and I think he would enjoy it because he wants to know about me. But I don't really know who else. I don't know how this is gonna work. Getting this to do more. Um, but whatever, I'll figure it out. I just gotta keep holding on to that. That's things don't end. They just you keep if you keep doing it, they'll keep getting better too. So yeah, 35 or 40-year-old Brian. I don't know. One of the definitely before I'm 40. I will have abs. I will maybe be great at guitar if I decide that's something I want to do every day. I will have amazing companies. I'll have this amazing life. And the only thing I need to do to make sure I have those things, and those things are going to be as much as they can be great, is to just do them every day. Just a little bit. And keep the streak alive. I just got to keep the streak alive. I don't know. I feel like I'm preaching and learning all at the same time, but keep the streak alive. That's it. That's all it is. That's what I'm going to title this one, because that's all there is out there. Everything you could ever want, keep the streak alive. Keep the streak alive. When it's comfortable, make it harder. When it's uncomfortable, keep the streak alive. Keep the streak alive. That's all we got to do. You can achieve anything you want to do. Keep the streak alive. In a few years, which seems like forever from now, I know you don't care. I know 14-year-old Brian would scoff and laugh and say, I don't want to be good at something in a year. I want to be good at it tomorrow. Great. You're not ready. Fine. I'll see you at 16. I'll see you at 20. I'll see you at 25. I'll see you at every age, because you're going to ask the same question, have the same problem, and hate the same solution until you adopt it and just say, this sucks. I want to be great today. I promise it will happen faster and it will be more fun getting there than winning the lottery will be anyways. You will feel hollow and shallow, and the people that win the lottery hate their lives. Google it. It's a documented fact that everyone that wins the lottery is less happy afterwards. Less happy, period. And it's because they didn't earn it. They didn't achieve it. They didn't build habits to understand what to do with the lottery, to make sense of it, to know how to use it, how to help people, how to just feel good about it. They didn't do anything every day to make it make sense to them that it's a good idea to have that much money, because it's just, our brains can't handle that. It's so much pressure all the time. I would be willing to bet if somebody woke up with the abilities equivalent to the lottery, where they could go be a professional athlete or something, they would get washed out so fast. Even if they were Wayne Gretzky, even if they woke up with the abilities of Wayne Gretzky, I'd be willing to bet no one would take them in the league, because they don't have any habits. They're going to lose those skills, or just screw themselves over along the way, because they don't have any structure. They don't have any discipline that will actually make any of those things good. Being the best hockey player or the best basketball player or the best anything on earth doesn't make any sense if you don't know how to be a good teammate. It doesn't make any sense if you don't understand the strategy behind having the ability to do anything is like having all the money in the world. If you don't know what to do with it, what's the point? It's great. You feel powerful for a day and a half, and then you feel overwhelmed and anxious and like you don't deserve it and you shouldn't be there. It's the dumbest, it's the dumbest goal we all have, right? It's the dumbest future plan that we all have. Okay, then one day I'll have everything. Okay. Either you're going to wake up one day and have it all and hate it, or you can wake up one day, have it all, knowing you did a little bit every day to get there, and you know how to use it. You have all the tools to use it to make your life better, not worse. Everyone that wins the lottery's life is worse. Everyone that builds good habits, life is better. Like I said, you can say, I don't want to be old when I'm good. I want to be good now. But being good now is worse than being good in the future. You know, you don't actually know what to do with it. You would lose it. You would break it. It wouldn't work. The only solution is to compound your time, compound your skills by doing a little bit every day, and derive pleasure from keeping the streak alive. Keep the streak alive. That's all it is. That's all we do all day. Keep the streak alive. Be so happy and so full, so fulfilled by looking at that streak. Just look at it all day. Look at it. Just be so happy. That streak is you achieving your goals, achieving your dreams. Every day that streak is kept alive, you are alive. You are not a failure that day. You are not a failure for months and weeks. There are hundreds and thousands of days in a row in which you are not a failure. That's all it is. And I would be willing to bet knowing for 1,000 days in a row you are not a failure is the same feeling as winning the lottery. So maybe you can win the lottery every single day if you just look at your streak and keep it alive. That's all you have to do. That's all it is. Keep it alive every day. Keep it alive, and you will feel like you won the lottery every single day. Do that. If you can't do that, go get a therapist, because you're stuck. You're not going anywhere. You're super stuck. And I'll see you in a few years, because you'll come back around and say, "Oh crap, I probably should have tried this years ago." What would I have achieved if I knew this at 16? What would I have achieved? What will I achieve knowing it at 32? How great will I be at 40? You know, who cares? The point is keep the streak alive. If I keep the streak alive, I will unlock all of my dreams, all of them. And I need to figure out what those are. Honestly, that's the crazy part is I feel like I can do anything. I can achieve anything. I just, what do I want to do? What's my average day? I think working out for a few minutes, sounds great. Let's do it. I think doing this podcast every day sounds great. Get my thoughts out there. I hopefully help somebody eventually. Great. Work on my companies, build up a strategy of how to help people using my companies. Great. Let's do it. Guitar, I don't know. I go back and forth with that one because I'd have to commit to it. And I think I want to play guitar to feel special, and I don't know if that's sustainable. I have to think through that. That's hard. I mean, I'd love to be good at it for the sake of being good at it, but I think I'm tying my self-worth into it too much, and I got to kind of comprehend that and understand it better. But I don't know. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you. This has been so great for me. Just blending it all out there. So I hope this helps somebody one day. I really think this was a good one. Talking through that idea and that process. So I'm sure I'll talk about it more days, but I'll see you tomorrow.